Well, he looks awfully similar to me, Katie. And that's the great part is the consistency of him. We had a bit of a difficult stretch, just 7-11 to start the year, and then we go to Finland, we come back. So the energy level of our team wasn't high, and what he can do so well is adapt his game. You didn't notice it. He was still putting pucks in the net. He was still smart and positional. He's such a bright man and a bright player that he can adapt his game to the different styles. I think I don't know if I'm projecting this onto him or he exudes this, but there's a confidence about him now when he has the puck. He is looking to shoot that thing every time he touches it, but he, as always, only shoots the ones he should. Doesn't force a whole lot. He's very confident in his game.
Obviously going back to last year, but does this team's comfort in tight games like we saw in Seattle?
Yeah, I don't think we've had a lot of them. We've scored at a higher rate this year, and I think we've had some, maybe last year, what would have been 2-1 games have turned into 3-1 or 4-1, and then we had a stretch where the games were 7-4. There wasn't a lot of defense going either way. I'd like to see us get back into the tighter games. It builds a mentality. I very much liked the fact that we were down 1-0 to Seattle and didn't change our game, and that's the first sign. And that's why it ends up 2-1 instead of you losing the game 3-1 or 4-1.
JT Miller back for the Canucks. How much impact does he have on the game as an opposing coach?
It's going to be huge, and then even more so because of the situation. So he's a very intense player, point producer, physical, kind of drives that forward unit in terms of style of play. And then anytime you have a player that needs to take some time and he comes back, I think you're going to see the Vancouver fans really show their appreciation tonight. I think they'll have an awful lot of energy. They also get Forbert back, great veteran guy, great presence in the room. So I think we're going to get Van's very best.
Any lineup changes?
None.
Bob and Nat?
Correct.
Your team is one road win away from matching the franchise's best start to the season on the road. What makes the Panthers so dangerous on the road in your minds?
When it started, so if you go back 2 years ago, we got to 500 on our last road game of the year. So it took us a long time to figure out playing on the road. You look at Vancouver, I think they're 10-2-1 or something on the road. But you get into a comfort level on the road games. We are best in a defense-first mentality, but it's not a passive defensive game. It's a very aggressive defensive game. When you get on the road, you're not selling tickets. I think you're more likely to play, and that happens to be our strength. So the road puts us in a position to play the game of hockey the way we should play.
Do you see similarities to, you mentioned their record? I mean, it's
Yeah.
the opposite at home. What can happen to a team when they go?
You know what? So much of it, I think, is based on the schedule, truly. When you're on the road, when you're coming off, where your injuries happen. I don't ever think that, you'd rather play on the road. You'd always rather play at home. I don't think the matchup game is as important as it used to be. I think, you've got third and fourth lines now that can skate. They can all skate. So I think getting on the road and not getting the matchup that you want isn't as big a deal anymore. But I don't know what happens to a team at home. We've all gone through it. We lost 4 straight last year at home. We were a pretty good team last year. So it happens. A lot of times those losing streaks are the best thing that can happen to your hockey club because it's where you find yourself.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, guys.
Paul, can I ask